I'm not saying we should go back today, but a month, 6 weeks from now, okay, when testing elevates, when ultimately the hospitals, continue to have more facilities available, more medical professionals available, etc. Yo, get your behinds in Vegas. There won't be a crowd in attendance, but millions upon millions of people will be watching you on television.
It'll be the most watched television.
Fine. Go and listen. You'll be on TV talking about it. I'll be on TV talking about it. And guess what, Kenny? I ain't trying to speak for you, but if they tell me to be there to cover it, I'm gonna be there.
You're gonna be there.
I'm gonna be there.
Yeah, no question.
I'm going.
You know what I proposed to him when I hit him? I said,
what?
Let's do it an NCAA tournament style and let everybody make the playoffs. And then when you get to the Final Four,
right,
you go best out of 5.
I totally disagree. I ain't buying that, Kenny. Hell no. Hell no. Hell no. No. Let me tell you. You trying to tell me the Atlanta Hawks deserve to be in? The Sacramento Kings deserve to be in? The Minnesota Timberwolves? Stop, Kenny. Stop. Nah. Hell no. No. Because I'm not interested. We know who the worst 16 teams are. They deserve to be home. Now, the top 16 teams, or let's say, for example, you got top 14, and then you got 2 that want to have some kind of play-in tournament or something like that. Or if you wanted to use the bottom rung of the NBA to have a play-in tournament with the bottom 2 seeds in each conference, fine. But the top 6 seeds in the Eastern Conference, in the East and the West, they earn that. They shouldn't have to go through none of that nonsense. LeBron shouldn't have to be.
They got 17 games left.
No, please stop that. Listen. Milwaukee, the Lakers, the Clippers. Nah.
As a fan, I would be turning that on.
It's Queens in the building. It's Queens in the building arguing with each other like we always do. Ain't nothing but love between 2 brothers. I got it. But hell no. Some of them don't deserve to play. No.
Okay, second thing.
Okay.
Knowing players like
yep,
which team is going to have the most difficulty with this 2-month off?
You know who I think it is? Believe it or not, I think it's teams like Denver.
That's what
I think a team like Denver would have some trouble. And to a lesser degree, Miami. Jimmy Butler being there helps, but they're a relatively young team. The young teams are going to have trouble because, see, I have no doubt that LeBron James knows how to prepare himself and his teammates for the layoff and how to be prepared for when you come back. I believe that Kawhi Leonard knows how to do that. But I'll give you a perfect example. Let's take Milwaukee, for instance, and I'll throw Milwaukee in there. The Greek Freak is the reigning league MVP. It's between him and LeBron who would be MVP. We know all of that, Kenny. But this brother's on record talking about he ain't been shooting no jump shots. He ain't got nowhere to practice. What? Yeah. That's your problem, the jump shot. And you ain't been practicing? If you couldn't find it when you were playing every day, you ain't going to have it when you get back. That's the kind of stuff that I'm worried about. So with the youth, with the younger teams, the Milwaukees, the Denvers, to a lesser degree, Miami, I would be worried about it.
Right.
The teams led by veterans, like the Lakers, like the Clippers, I'm not worried about as much.
I would worry about those teams, like you said, the young teams with the continuity.
Right.
Because it's all about playing together. Because even Denver started slow and they started rising. When you have great talent, you start right where you are and you just got to maintain it. So I would agree with that 100%. And lastly, man, there was one thing I wanted to, we talked about the Last Dance that's coming on tonight.
Yep.
And, obviously you covered Michael. You understand what he's about. I played with Michael. Your favorite Michael Jordan moment for everybody, just so they can hear it. As I see my man Shagun, the program is in here. Who else is there? Jason, Rolo, 106. All these people joining in, just paying in.
Well, my favorite moment with MJ was in Game 2 of the '91 Finals when the brother floated through the air and switched hands. I mean, that was something spectacular when he did that on the Lakers. That was my favorite moment. You could look at the crossover on Byron Russell, the push off, and the jump shot to win at Utah, because I'm there in attendance. My man Marty McNeil, former beat writer with the Sacramento Kings, and by the way, he's got some health issues. We wishing them nothing but the best. Here's the deal: we sitting in the press box, and Michael Jordan comes from behind Karl Malone, strips him, gets the ball, and the clock is winding down, and we like, oh man, because we can't be cheering in the press box. We ain't supposed to be doing that. And so Michael get the ball, and then he got Byron Russell one-on-one. He goes to his right, crossover, the push off. We see Byron Russell sliding like he's sliding to second base or something, and Michael went and hit the jump, and we were like this, oh, just going crazy. It was a slight push off. It was a push off, but it's all right. It's all right. You can't let that happen. Hell with it. Handle it, Byron Russell. You're supposed to handle that. That's his fault. But it was beautiful. That obviously those are the two greatest moments. But overall, just watching Michael, man, this last dance, man, watching this brother do what he did. I don't ever want to. I love LeBron. LeBron is all world, Mount Rushmore, as far as I'm concerned, no doubt. But I don't want to hear nothing about anybody compared to MJ. When you see the road that MJ had to go through to get to where he got, there's just nothing to say.
Yeah, nothing to say.
There's nobody in the modern era that's had to endure what MJ had to endure en route to his greatness.
I agree.
Doesn't even compare. Doesn't even compare.
I 100% agree. And the one thing that Michael, to me, what made him the greatest basketball player that ever lived is when he was at North Carolina, he had a lot of deficiencies. Not a lot. He had deficiencies. His ball handling was all right. His jump shot was okay. His turnaround was all right. At the end of his career, those were his strengths.
That's right.
Name one other player that their weaknesses when they came into the league became their strengths when they left the league.
Kobe.
Kobe. It's a short list.
It's a very short list.
That separates him. And to me, Stephen, he was the most fundamentally sound athlete, where everybody else were athletes who became fundamentally sound. He always had his correct hand in the passing lane, always on the right side, on the weak side, got a foot in the lane to make sure that he's there for help defense. He just was above and beyond.
Well, he played for your coach. Y'all played for the same guy, Dean Smith. And my coach, Clarence Big House Gaines, used to always sit up there because I was a huge North Carolina fan. I just wasn't good enough to be a Tar Heel. And he would say to me, that's a good man to watch, Dean Smith. He was phenomenal. And
we used to say that about Clarence Big House.
Yeah, absolutely. And so you just looked at it, and it was like Dean Smith and the players that he coached. People forget how great Worthy was and what have you. You just look at stuff like that. But MJ was something special. And you look at the modern day athlete, I give them major props for the abilities they have. But the freshness about the Greek Freak is that he's the one guy you saw come into the league in a modern era. And in a couple of years, he was completely different. He had completely evolved because he worked on his game. A lot of guys maintained the level of greatness that they had, but few of them really have elevated themselves in terms of their skill set to another level. Their attitude is, you can't stop it, figure out a way to stop me and we can talk. That is entirely different than really, really working on your craft. When I look at a Steph Curry, he's the greatest shooter I've ever seen in my life. But give him credit where credit is due. He's really, really worked on his shot off the dribble, as well as spotting up and what have you. He's worked on finishing at the basket. He's worked on a few things. When I look at a guy like Russell Westbrook, the most athletic point guard I've ever seen in my life, but his greatest strength may also be his greatest weakness in terms of his competitiveness and his stubbornness. Because when you talk to him, or if you listen to him rather, because I don't talk to him much, the thing about it is, or really at all, when you look at him, he's convinced that his way is the right way. And I'm like, damn, you so great, bro, but you don't have that chip yet. You see what I'm saying? How you gonna get that chip? How you gonna get that chip? Exactly. So I was really interested in watching him and Harden work. Harden, phenomenal offensive player. Well, they've been talking about your defense. You D cats up in the post, but what about on that perimeter? Can you guard? Do you have the energy to put it forth? Because with LeBron and Kawhi and cats like that lining your weight, they're going to make you do that in order to beat them. If Steph Curry and Clay were healthy, they're going to make you do that in order to beat them. Can you get over the hump? That's what I'm looking to see from some of these guys.
Well, man, I appreciate you coming on. I'm not going to, because we can talk all day.
You know it.
We'll talk all day. And I just want you to know what I'm doing now in between, man.
Right.
I'm giving away a week of groceries to people. So, like, that's my send-off to people. Like, just like, we all each one teach one. So
well, you know I help you out with that. You know I help you out with that. Throw me in the mix. I'm more than happy to give as well. You know that.
No
You know
doubt at
that.
all.
We
No
could all
doubt.
join in on that one.
No doubt. So with the next ones is gonna be with Steven and Charlemagne. We got DJ Khaled coming up.
Yeah.
I got Luda. So this is it, man. It's a fun day, brother.
All right,
I
boss.
appreciate you. My Complex is in the building.
All
Who
right.
else is in the building? We got Brandon Davis. Everybody, man. Love you, brother.
One love. Love you too, man.
All right.
I'll holla later.
All right. So now we got